Now, in the last video, we talked about 5 different specialty cable ties. In this edition of 5 Things, we're going to talk about cable tie tools. So the first thing we want to look at is the cable tie opener. And this has a set of special jaws. If you look at them, we have one that's kind of a needle point, and then we have another one that looks like a tooth. And this is designed to be able to remove a cable tie. And you want to stick the point down into the cable tie and then squeeze it. And it's kind of hard to do with the camera noise. But there you go, you see, you can pull it out. Now I have found that this works better if you do not cut the tail off. So in other words, if you cut the tail off here, it's a little more difficult. Plus, this does work better on different sizes. These real small ones, it doesn't work real well. It does work better on the size that we would probably use more normally. It does seem a little flimsy as far as the tool goes, but it does seem to work. Well, the next tool I have is a cable tie tensioner. And we'll put the cable tie back on. And that's this gun. Now I do have a real nice one, a nice Paladin one that I bought on eBay of all places for about $25. It was used, but it was like new condition. And the Paladin tensioners, they cost around $150 new. So that's a good place to find them if you want a high quality one. But this one is a fairly inexpensive one, around $18, so it's not too bad. And it does have an adjustable tensioner. The idea here, you just put the cable end in the cable tie tool, and then it will tension it and cut the end off. So why would you need one of these? Well, let's say if you had this in an area where you couldn't access it very well, you know, you can bring this in with one hand, and say you couldn't get around here with a pair of diagonal pliers to cut the tang off. You know, you can do it all with one hand. So the application may be limited, but the tool isn't very expensive, so you know it's worthy for your toolbox. And if you're like me, a lot of times I will run some cabling and then come back later and find I got to run another wire. Either you have to remove all the cable ties from the initial wire, or you're going to have a couple of generations of cable ties. So what if you have a bundle of wire and you just need to feed another wire in? Well, they have this thing, and I'm going to call it a wire spoon. And the idea is you can just fit it in the cable tie like that. And this is not sharp, so it's not going to nick the wire. And then you simply take the wire like that, and there you go. And then you can go with the next one, and so on. That's kind of a neat tool to have in your toolbox, I would think. At some point you have to cut cable ties off. One method I try to use is to nip the wire right there where I can get under the cable tie without cutting the wire. So if you try to go through like this, even through here, it's possible that you can nip the wire. So here's a product. This is a cable tie remover. It's made by Advanced Cable Ties. And I'll show you the end here, the jaws. And you can do this anywhere. It just comes right off. And the disadvantage, of course, with using a pair of diagonals is that you may not be able to access the end. This could be facing the back side of a wall or something. You're going to be relegated to try to cut it like this, where we can take this very easily like that. Don't even have to look. And then finally, they also make a upgraded version that has the same head, but also it has a wire cutter and insulation stripper. So you're probably less apt to lose this one because you're going to use it for other things than just this. Anyway, these are 5 different cable tie tools that you might find useful. Visit rv-project.com.